In the middle of Portland's peninsula, tucked between brick buildings and busy sidewalks, there's a place built around slowing down. Not just buying something, making something. A tiny ecosystem, built by hand. Terrarium started with two people bringing together completely different worlds. Horticulture and hospitality. Turning it into something that feels equal parts plant shop, workshop, and escape. Because sometimes the places people connect with most are the ones that make them pause for a minute. Today, I'm meeting Anna and Rob Sinnott to learn how a shared idea became one of Portland's most unique small businesses. I'm Nick Landano, and this is Rooted. Anna, Rob, thank you guys for having me here today. I've always thought Terrarium was, one, just a really cool spot within Portland regardless, but also visually, aesthetically, very appealing. So a very fun spot to record, but also a spot that definitely think most people might not really understand the backstory behind all of it, bringing plants and craft and workspace together. So before we sort of get into the history of it or the backstory of you guys as well, would you be able to at least sort of explain what terrariums are and what you're crafting here? Because I think that'll at least get people on the same page.
Yeah, of course. So a terrarium is an enclosed ecosystem. Typically terrariums have lids so that they're low maintenance. We put all sorts of tropical plants that can handle a higher humidity rate and will thrive inside the terrarium itself. Most people, because of the ease of the terrarium, can be very successful with terrarium gardening. So that's kind of why it's fun.
So you look at it as its own style of gardening. So in that case, I guess I need to understand a little bit of the backstory of how you even got into knowing how to craft these, never mind being able to teach people how to do it as well. So what are your guys' backgrounds behind all of this?
So I have very fortunately worked in horticulture since I was 16 years old. So this will be almost 25 years of horticulture. I liked terrariums just as a general. It is how in history, it's how we used to transport plants. So that's the design of them. The terrarium was invented for the purpose of transporting plants across the Atlantic Ocean.
It's a good bit of history.
Yeah, it's fun little piece of history.
Yeah.
Dr. Ward invented the Wardian case.
Yep.
Oh, and that's how they spread plant diseases as well.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It actually, the real plant that they were after was coffee, believe it or not. The goal was trying to get coffee out of Madagascar back to London during the early 1800s. And that was how the terrarium was invented and created for that purpose of getting coffee back. The terrarium modernized coffee as you know it, as well as coffee being what brought terrarium to the table, so to speak. So that's just fun little backstory history of it. I've always done horticulture. I've done annual plants, nursery stock, greenhouse growing, you name it. When we were thinking of this, I wanted to specifically focus on terrarium because it was different. Nobody else was doing it yet. There was no garden center that was focusing on terrarium in the aspect of having everything that you needed right at arm's reach with someone to actually teach you the ins and outs of it to make you successful while making a terrarium.
That's pretty cool to take that angle, and I think that it has definitely led to a total different type of garden center, clearly, something that's able to be downtown in a city and an active experience as well. So obviously, if you have the horticulture background and you have flooded Anna with all of this knowledge, what was your background prior to doing this, and was it similar, or has this all been new to you?
A little bit of both. I've worked in restaurants. My dad used to do wholesale pasta and have a deli when I was a kid. So at 12 years old, I was doing prep work in his kitchen and burning myself on that little shrink wrapper thing for prepared foods. And then I just always worked in restaurants. I started bussing tables at the local pub and then waiting tables, bartending. I moved up to Portland where there's lots of jobs for things like that. And eventually I started doing more of the business administration side of restaurants and event planning. And so kind of saw, ways to make things an experience and flow and all that. And then I grew up on Cape Cod and then also up here. They're both very summer heavy seasonal places. And I felt there was a lack of things to do in the winter. And also it was kind of a bummer my whole life working 50 hours a week all summer and then having less hours in the winter, and I wanted to enjoy the summer. So we've kind of flipped that here where winter's our busy season and summer's a little bit slower.
Oh, that's interesting. So even with all of the tourism in Maine in the summer, you guys have still been able to really capture the winter seasons as well, bring people in. I guess that is true. I mean, all these other nurseries shut down during the winter and have nothing going on. So kind of, again, a cool way to transition the business plan, so to speak.
Yeah, and we do get good tourist business, but we need the weather to cooperate, which means the patios can't be sat on. We need a nice rainy day to fill every chair in our store during tourist season. So we're always grateful when it rains.
It's interesting because you usually don't hear that from most of the businesses in a tourist town, but it's good to have those indoor activities for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good for the plants outside too.
How would you say that running a business in Maine tied with, say, the community, the tourism, what stands out to you operating a small business in Maine? Like, why here?
Portland is super small business friendly, and it's I mean, a lot of people come here. We get a lot of bachelorettes, but a lot of people who live in the area too. And I think in that way, it's what makes Portland unique and awesome. And it's not by accident. People who come here and people who live here, I think, do a great job of supporting the small businesses that make it pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Maine in general is a very supportive community. So I'm also kind of curious, what do you think it is about terrariums or about this experience that people might need today? You know, almost like the philosophy behind this, the hands-on craft, because I feel like I've noticed it a lot more recently, people wanting to go out and have an experience.
I agree with you. I feel that in this day and age where instant gratification is so easily available, you can't instant gratify the experience. You have to have the experience. So people are looking for events that are more of the experience in general. Because, you know, then they can say, I went and did this, I have this door prize from doing this. You get to come in here and you get to, sometimes you bring a friend, sometimes you come as a group, you get to come in here and you have to slow down. We don't have a clock on the wall. We don't have screens anywhere, you know? And so it makes it makes you really like reel it in and be like, wait, there's none of this external stimulation that we're so engulfed with every single day. And this is a unique experience where there is a lot of social media about this style of thing, but nobody really teaches you how to do it. So the fact that they can see that they want this experience and now someone's offering this experience, I think is a big help to it as well.
Yeah, I think there is just that innate desire to want to be more active in the process of what you're buying now. I mean, Portland has a lot of pottery studios, and you know, a space like this, spaces where you can go and actually get your hands dirty.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool that you guys have been able to sort of cultivate that here as well.
Well, I think creating is the most human thing you can do. I actually was having a conversation with a friend about, we both kind of like picked up funny little hobbies. Like I got some like watercolor paints, and I'm not a painter, but I like it. And I feel like from being a kid to somewhere finding your place in the world, you stop creating because it's fun, and you only kind of put your energy into things that are lucrative. But it's, whether you're an artist or not, I think just creating something is something humans are meant to do, if that makes sense.
No, it definitely does. I've always been a believer of that as well, because you do just pour so much time into your business and your work, and then you kind of forget about photography, painting, drawing. I've done the same thing. I've picked up paints. I'm like, I'm not a painter, I'm not an artist,
no, but
it's nice. It allows you to feel like you're in touch with something, even if you look at it and think, well, I'm not showing that to anyone.
I think a lot too, like, everyone used to have a garden. Everybody, And how many people do you know that don't have a garden, don't have a house plant? And this is a way to take something that we are very confident in and present it to someone and be like, hey, you should be able to be successful with this, and now you've got a garden. This is your start to this gardening hobby, to get people more involved with the want to be gardeners and get out there. In addition to being creative, but being able to have that nurture instinct of be able to, hey, I got this. I kept this alive. And I think that that's very important for what we offer.
Gives you a sense of responsibility a little bit too. Very light.
Yeah.
I know, I'll need to actually revisit the care of a terrarium for the one that you brought over to our shop next door.
There you go.
I looked at it and it's been holding up just fine.
Perfect.
So speaking to sort of when you started, what would you say is probably the biggest differences and from your initial vision to now and the future?
It's changed a lot. We started with 3 of our bigger workshop tables, the long ones, and they were over here. And then over there was kind of a seating area for drinks and food. And I still remember one of my friends works for Visit Portland, and we've obviously partnered with them, but she came in when we were first opening, and she's like, oh, you're gonna need more tables for terrariums. So I was like, well, we'll see. We're gonna start here. So anyway, we've more than doubled our seating for terrarium making and shifted into really focusing on the little terrarium plants. And obviously we have a lot of other stuff too, but we've really kind of dialed it in over time.
So if you said that you transitioned more into the smaller terrarium plants, did you start by wanting to sell some larger plants as well? Or was that sort of the focus, thinking that's what people would want versus creating?
We have transitioned from, all right, you're gonna make a terrarium, these are the plants we're gonna provide for you to make a terrarium, and switched into a larger, grander shopping experience. Like, pick out this, now pick out these, now pick out this, now put it all together. And it has definitely evolved from, okay, you do this, you do this, you do this, and now you have a terrarium too. You get to do something I like to say to people a lot is that nobody gets to tell you how to plant your garden.
How do you know that all of these plants work is it just your knowledge base that you have picked out everything that's in here to perfectly work with one another?
Correct.
And not have there really be any room for error from the customer side?
Correct. So the big C word, COVID. During COVID, I got back into the making terrariums prior to us opening the store. So I went from like June to December and I made like 30 terrariums, just went overboard. And at this point, it was just a hobby. And that was a big learning curve to these plants work, these plants don't work. These mosses work, these mosses don't work. Because that was, initially, I was just collecting mosses out of our yard and putting them in jars to see which mosses I could keep alive in the jars in the house for extended amounts of time. Because that was it for me. I liked the mosses a lot, and they were right in the yard. They were very easy for me to access, kind of thing. So the plants, one of our growers that we use does focus very well on high humidity tropicals, so that has made it very easy, but even still with that list that I receive from them, I still pick and choose because I know these plants are more successful than some of the other plants at that. So one of the big reassurances for people when they're coming in here to do this is you just have to pick out what you like. I've already done the legwork to tell you that will work with this kind of thing. And so that makes it easier on that customer, so to speak. They're like, oh, well, he's already done this part for me. And I just have to decide I like this pink plant with this little green plant kind of thing, so.
And just to understand the customer experience a little bit more, when someone comes in and they want to build, are you sort of bopping around tables teaching them, or is it rather free in terms of, hey, start with X, Y, and Z, walk around, we'll see how it's going? Or are you very hands-on with the education aspect of it in a way?
When people are making them, they can ask for as much help as they want, or they can figure it out themselves. We don't want to be overbearing, but we also want to provide enough assistance for that person if they want it. If they're struggling with the planting, we'll come over and demonstrate our techniques, or if they're trying to create a design element from one of our examples they've seen, we'll explain how we created that design element so that they can attempt to recreate that design element. Yeah, so I mean, we try to be as informative or uninformative as that individual wants, because there are people who have decided they are, I want to do it this way, and we're not here to argue that. If they want to do it that way, they sure can, kind of thing.
Yeah, you get to build your own and see how it turns out, and hopefully it lives as long as it possibly can.
Yeah, correct.
Well, we've talked a lot about terrariums, so if you guys are down for it, it would be really cool to dive a little deeper, build one, go through the store, and kind of get that hands-on experience.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess let's go at it. We can just start by taking a look at the wall of potential terrariums if you want to talk a little bit about what people tend to like, what we're going to be building here.
When you come into the store and we go to make terrariums, I always encourage everyone to take a look at our examples that we have up here on the wall to help them build an idea of what terrarium is that they want to put together. Do they want to make a big one? Do they want to make a smaller one? Things of that nature. But it also helps you get a design idea of how to actually put the terrarium together so that you don't go into it blind. You have some sort of insight as to, hey, I would like my terrarium to look like this. Oh, he used these plants in this manner to create the terrarium. I should look for similar plants, that kind of thing. So we always look, I always encourage everyone to, copy one of my design ideas. That's what they're here for, kind of thing. So, it's a good place to start is just looking at all the jars of options that we have available for you to build your ideas from.
You kind of have a flow here, so we take a look and then we can start checking out some jars and some vessels.
Come right down this way. So we have all these jars for you guys to choose from. So pick out your favorite jar and we will we'll put one together.
I think we'll go with a little cork top, kind of big. Looks like we could build a nice base in there.
Absolutely, that looks great.
I dig that one. Okay, so we go from vessel and then do we dive right in, or do we start picking out plants?
We'll start with picking out our plants from over on the 3 tables against the far wall. Let's go grab our favorite seat and we'll go from there.
Okay, perfect. Let's go.
There's an old saying, whenever you create a basket in horticulture, and that it's super silly, but we're going to share it anyways, and that's that you need something that's the thriller, and that's your focal point plant to your design. Now you need something that's a filler, and that's basically going to fill the vertical height within the jar itself. And then you need the third aspect, which is going to be a spiller. And when in a terrarium, all of our spillers are ground covers, and we made that whole table over there specifically with the ground covers on it so that it makes that side of it easy, because it's a very important design aspect when you're making the terrarium. So all you need to worry about is what makes you happy. Okay, awesome. And we'll put it together from there.
So then this is a mix of the thrillers and fillers.
That's correct. Yes.
And we could go with one of these back here, perhaps. Do I just
Just take your favorite one.
One
Part of
looks like it's
plant
nice and
shopping
big.
fun is always getting to pick out your own plants, my friend.
Yeah, that is true. I guess if it's that looks like nice and full on.
Yeah. It's got some runners on it already. That'll be really cool. Those are runners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
So I'll go with strawberry begonia, and then what do we have over here? This looks like a little taller.
Yeah, that's actually really fun. That is a filler, and that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. That's actually the coffee plant.
Oh,
so the
okay.
whole reason the terrarium exists, for the coffee there, and we're still using it as one of our plants you can put into your terrarium, keeping that history of the terrarium alive, if you will.
Yeah.
And that is a very nice filler plant to fill that vertical space in the terrarium.
I feel like just so I can start hitting people with that little history drop, I'll go with some coffee plants.
Absolutely.
Just so I can say, did you know
Absolutely.
about terrariums? Yeah, then we'll start with these two, and then I guess we can move
down to this table, pick out our favorite spiller or ground cover, if you will. Okay. A lot of what these plants are is called baby's tears or a pilea. They're a very successful terrarium plant.
I might go with some of these lighter ones that sort of fill it out a bit more. So like this one looks pretty big.
Great.
That looks nice.
Looks great.
One little straggler there, but I'd say that's a nice little combo across all of them. So do we get the plants, now we bring them back to the table?
We'll bring them right over the table and we'll talk about putting it all together.
Perfect.
We'll start with the small rocks here, and we're just gonna do about the width of a finger.
Okay.
And if your fingers are bigger than mine, it's okay.
Okay.
Just about the width of one finger.
What happens if you've got a kid's finger? Do you have a lot of kids doing this? Or?
We do, actually. This is a great activity for kids. We're one of the few spaces in the city where we feel as though this is a yes space for kids to come and be able to experience this activity. I think it's important for raise a new generation of gardeners, if you will. Absolutely.
Yeah, you just have smaller jars for the smaller fingers.
That's
and get them all set up on it.
That's exactly it.
Sweet. So a finger's width on the jar. Okay, so you need a good amount of stones in here for this one.
Yeah.
Put a good little chunk in here.
And that looks great for the rocks. So now let's switch over straight to the dirt. And so we did the 1 finger rocks. We're gonna now do about 2-ish finger widths of the soil.
Okay. So kind of up to where it starts to curve.
Yeah,
in, but
exactly.
Not too much. Oh wait, yeah, you said don't
tell.
Don't tell.
And messes are totally okay here.
Okay, yeah,
you don't
that's
have to
true.
clean up after yourself. I'm gonna do it for you too. So my joke is that the steakhouse doesn't expect you to clean up afterwards. I don't expect you to clean up after either. You can't garden and not make a mess,
Yeah, that is true.
That is part of this, so. All right, so now, before we get any further, we're gonna do something fun and we're gonna make a hill. Okay. The reason that we're gonna make a hill is because it's called fronting, and this comes from bonsai, actually. In bonsai, you never look at the back of your tree. You only look at the front of the tree. Terrarium is very similar. So we're gonna make a hill, and we're gonna put the lower part at the front of the jar, and then the higher part at the back of the jar. And we're gonna, again, use the tweezers, and we're just gonna kinda push our soils into that location that we want to.
That's good. So we'll just start to kind of...
Yeah, and this just helps us make depth, and again, fronting the jar. It just gives us a little bit of variance and interest that helps us, kind of see all the different things inside of the jar. Yeah. Perfect.
So is that like a good size hill, you'd say?
Perfect. Okay. So now, just like in real gardening, when you have a hill, it will disappear if you don't retain it. Okay. This is where our large rocks come into play.
Oh, okay.
So we use our large rocks to kind of help create our hardscapes. Just like in gardening, you do all your hardscaping first, and then you come around and plant around the hardscapes in the jar. I've actually got some extra rocks here for you. What we're gonna do here to make this interesting is we're gonna take these bigger rocks, and right where you have your grade change, we're basically gonna use these rocks to come in. See if my hand fits in here, and just kind of work them into the soil and hold our soils into the place we want. I'd probably stick that rock somewhere around there somewhere.
Yeah, so let's see here. Try to drop it in without
that's the trick.
too much. Oh. Okay,
There you go.
there we go.
Perfect.
Hands
and
in.
just kind of like wiggle it into the dirt just a touch. Perfect.
Awesome. Okay.
So with all of our plants, we can manipulate our plants in any way we want. Every single one of these stems is an individual plant.
Oh, okay.
So we can either keep the plant all clustered together, we can break it into individual sections, and we can start planting it around. So we're gonna keep our coffee plants right in the back, and I'm just gonna make a little hole for you right here where I think that the plant should go, and just a little indentation, not too much. And now you're gonna take these tweezers. You are gonna hold your tweezers more like a set of chopsticks where it comes out the bottom of your hand.
Okay.
This will allow you to come in and grab the base of the plant where you wish
yeah.
the base of the plant to be.
Okay, yeah, and then just be able to insert
Now you're gonna
it
be able to,
where
and
it
now place it in the hole, but before you let go, you're gonna use this stick. And you're just gonna place the stick on the plant, just lightly, doesn't have to be too strong.
Let's see, get right to the base
Perfect, and now release your tweezers and pull your tweezers out.
there. Okay.
Okay, the tweezers will always pull the plant, but the wood won't. And that's perfect, let it fall, it's gonna fall, it's not gonna listen to you. That's what plants do, they don't listen.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Tipping over like that is
That's
okay?
all right.
Okay.
We're gonna fix it. But we're gonna get there as we go there. I joke about this a lot, but in school, there's a lot of different kinds of students out there. But the C's get the degrees students. Those are the ones that really excel at this, because even if I got a C on the assignment today, in 2 months it's gonna be the A+. I hoped it was gonna be, because plants grow. This is the smallest our plants are ever gonna be. They're only gonna get bigger from here.
Well, it's good. A little bit of leadway. I always need a little bit of it.
So now we've got a nice open space right here, which is probably where we want to put our little strawberry begonia. So again,
So we
make a
dig a little
small little
hole.
indentation.
Okay.
Perfect. And then just kind of
Grab
grab them by the base and drop them right in there. So now we've got our background filled really quite nicely with the bigger plants. And we've got all this foreground, and we're gonna just kind of switch over to the foreground. So what we're gonna do is, with our last plant, this thing's really big. This was a good choice. So we're gonna take it and we're gonna just start by ripping it right in half. We're not even gonna overthink it. We're gonna be kind of brutal with it, okay? This plant will grow with or without roots from the beginning. So we can use it with the root structure, or we can break it on the stem and just place. Now we're gonna switch to the mosses on this, okay? So what we're gonna do with this piece here is we're gonna come in here and we're gonna just move these to the side, and we're just gonna put this right in front of this rock right here.
Down in here.
Perfect.
And can it be overlapping the, I'll push it with the wood instead.
Yeah.
Can it be overlapping the stone a little bit as well?
Yeah, that's fine, don't worry about that.
Say that
That's
overlaps pretty well.
Perfect.
Love that. Look at that. So I mean, are we already?
That's
kind
it,
of
man.
Wow,
We are
okay.
on to the final stage, which is watering the terrarium and adding some insects to the terrarium.
Okay.
We're all done with it, so we're gonna water it. I do use distilled water only. I think that matters a lot, as you're not adding additional minerals or anything like that into your jar by accident. So we use distilled water. I just run it right around the edges. This helps clean off the edges just a little bit. So that's the water. We've done about a tablespoon of water for our first watering today. Now we're gonna add some cleanup crew.
Okay.
These are our janitors of the terrarium. These little insects are called springtails. These are the heavy lifters of the terrarium environment. They do all the heavy lifting of keeping it clean and making sure the mold grows. And every terrarium that we build here at Terrarium gets about, a couple 100,000 of these bugs in their jar every time. We're gonna put the lid on.
Okay.
And we are now officially done. That's it. That's all there is to it.
I feel like a lot of people who are going into business, whether that be with friends, family, it always creates a little bit of tension or uncertainty. How do you guys feel about working together as a married couple?
I give a lot of credit to Anna on this. She's very good at turning it off. And we do work things at work, and we talk home things and fun things at home, and we do bring a lot of work home. We have a very large greenhouse that we do a lot of the growing in at the house, so it sometimes feels like there is no distinct line between the two of them. I'm just gonna be cheesy. She's an awesome partner. We agree on most decisions. And so for that, if she makes the decision, I just trust the decision. Being able to turn it off, she's much better at being like, okay, we're done with working for the day. Let's, go to our daughter's concert later tonight, or let's make sure of these things. It's been, honestly, I love working with my wife. I think it's fantastic. I don't know if she agrees. But I do enjoy it.
No, I agree. I think in a lot of ways it feels very easy and natural, and I don't envy people who have to punch a clock 9 to 5 kind of thing. But then on the other side of it, it's hard for us to both take time off. So, if we want to go somewhere or do something, we basically have to close the store. So that takes a lot of planning, and I never want to disappoint customers, but sometimes you have to take time for yourself. And but no, I think that, and we have different strengths and kind of have, and again, that's a thing that evolved over time. Some of it's been the same since we opened, or what we each do as far as roles here. But I don't feel like stepping on each other's toes, and some things we work together on, and some things kind of operate individually, and it's works well for us.
Yeah, no, I like to shine a little bit of a light on that, because I work with family. I also run a business that works with friends, and then being able to express that and not have people think they need to go at it alone, and sort of lean into your strengths, and being able to do that with someone that's beside you all the time can be even more powerful. I just think a lot of people think they need to go at it alone with a lot of these setups now.
That's true, yeah.
That's fair.
And you did mention that you guys sort of have your own strengths, your own delegation. Like, what do you guys focus on individually so you don't have to necessarily butt heads as much? Is that something you sort of strategically laid out, where it's this is you, this is me, and we bring that together, or?
It's kind of happened naturally. Like I handle the food and beverage inventory, he handles glass inventory. Most of the plant inventory, when we're doing a big order, like we just had a large shipment come in. So for the really big orders, where we do a few of them a year, we kind of work together on it. But for the most part, we just kind of each manage our own side of inventory, and kind of have the days split up in ways that make sense.
Kind of looping in everything that you guys have experienced thus far, 4 years in business, are there any sort of realities that you want to share from the hard moments, the times where you felt like, oh boy, are we making the right decision doing this, to the sort of the highs where you're like, this was great? Yeah. Any of those that you want to throw out there?
I feel like people are always waiting for like the right moment to like jump in head first in something, or I'll do this when I have this, or I've accomplished this. We were in the middle of negotiating the lease for this space, so it was already, I planned to continue working the job that I had, and I ended up losing my job a month before we actually signed the lease. And then it took 3 months longer to get the occupancy permit than I thought it was going to. So it was like kind of a long time before we like actually, from signing the lease, agreeing to pay rent for this giant space, to really being able to open our doors. So that was the scariest moment. And then the highs were definitely when we're like, all right, we have to make more tables. We need more seats. People really are having fun with the terrariums. And we, like our busiest day, I think, was like a Saturday, a February vacation in 2025 or 2024. Anyway, it was crazy. And it was the two of us, and I think we had 2 employees on that day. That was definitely a high, like at the end of the day, like, all right, I think we're making it.
That must have been a moment where you thought, we made the right decision.
Yeah,
people actually want this.
Yeah, because there was for a while there, like just not I couldn't sleep. I was like, what did we do? Yeah. But once we got open and everybody's been, has fun. It never gets old when we do have the store full of customers, and I get like a rare moment to just kind of look around and to see everybody like really into like using the tools and their plants and laughing together. And we've had a lot of people ask, do we have free Wi-Fi? Can they sit here and work? And while I would love to people enjoy the space in any way, I actually am glad that we've never opened that up, because I think having people like sitting at a computer kind of takes away from the organic feel of the social aspect of it. That feels secluded, whereas we want it to feel communal.
Yeah, I like how you guys touched on that too, because I didn't notice the whole no clock, no screens, and I feel like that does sort of keep the two worlds separated. I mean, your business is all about being hands-on, in nature, in the moment. Yeah. So you think that when you sort of started, I like that piece of advice you gave, that was probably your biggest scary moment, but really terrifying.
Absolutely terrifying.
But you would say to people, sort of a piece of advice, even if they're not doing anything like this, if they want to get into business, I mean, really, you just have to do it.
You gotta do it. You just gotta go for it.
Just go for it.
Yeah. Did you have any of those sleepless nights too with it? I imagine the stress.
Absolutely. And there was definitely a few nights at like 2 a.m. she'd be like, what if? And I'd be like, no, I absolutely. There was a lot of it was very anxious in the beginning. When we were first opening, we didn't have the volume of customers that we have now. And so, yeah, it was just, you'd make a couple terrariums and be like, haha, we made 5 terrariums. You know, I think on Mother's Day, we made something like 150 terrariums kind of thing this year. So it's a very, in the beginning, it was, we were like, I just hope people really want to make terrariums. Like, I know I really like them. So I'm hoping everyone else does, So I had a few of those moments definitely in the beginning too. And I still do. I buy plants for the store that no one seems interested in, and they're sitting here and I'm like, oh no, did I buy the wrong plant? That kind of silly thing. So it still hasn't ended in that means, but they use all the plants. Someone will find that plant beautiful eventually is something I have learned. So
that's awesome.
I just have to keep taking care of it.
Yeah, the proof of concept is a really tough part to get to as well, because I think a lot of people have that attitude of build it and they will come, but you do need to do something to sort of, one, spur them on, but also give it enough time. And looking forward, do you guys have future plans to change, add, or do you kind of like where it is? What does the next level of success look like to you guys?
Our goal has never been to expand or open one of these in every city. We want one of these in Portland, Maine, and that's pretty much it. The goal sort of be more like a landmark location, That would be what would truly feel like success, at least to me. It makes me very happy, And our 6-year-old, Brooke, recently told Anna that when she turns 18, she would take over the store for us. So,
see it early.
Yeah, and so in 11 years, if our 18-year-old girl decides to take over the store for us, that'll be truly success, in my opinion.
That's awesome. I love to hear that. I think that's something a lot of people need to hear as well. Media has really pushed big business growth, efficiency, multiple locations, but I think it's really important for people to understand if you can make a good living, live a good, happy life, support your family, what they care about, and be able to pass those passions along, that is success. That is
That's really the goal. And just keep making this, better. And Rob makes a point. We have a lot of people, come in like, this would do great in Brooklyn, or I wish there was one of this near me, and we're like, that'd be a long commute for us. I think that it wouldn't be the same if we weren't able to be here, and Rob always makes the point, if somebody were to franchise something like this, we have permission from some friends to forage moss on their properties. Like, there's no commercial way really to grow. There's like one nursery in Tennessee you can buy dicranum from, and it's just not the best quality moss. It doesn't give you that happy feel of like the stuff we forage around here. So that would be nearly impossible to recreate on a scale any bigger than this.
That's very cool. I think that keeping it local, keeping the passion there, the fact that both of you guys still love it, still are able to impose your visions and into the jars, the plants, your own hands on the product. It's just a very cool way to go about it as well.
Absolutely. We've got a lot of resources on our website that show you the correct lighting. We have a blog that reiterates the care and maintenance of the terrarium if you have additional questions about that. We have all of that information for you available right on the website, so that if you have additional questions.
Well, I appreciate the walkthrough. For anyone out there who wants to come build their own terrarium, a little date night, a little anniversary gift, something with your kids, this seems like a very fun activity, especially get your own creative flair on it. So thank you very much, Rob.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Well, Terrarium, Portland, Maine. Come by, check it out. That came out great. The best businesses create more than products. They create experiences, memories people can carry with them long after they leave. Terrarium isn't just a place to buy plants. It's a place people come to slow down for a while, to make something with their hands, spend time together, and step away from a world that feels increasingly fast, loud, and disposable. In a city that's constantly changing, places like Terrarium start to matter a little more. I'm Nick Landano, and this is Rooted.